All right, welcome to Odd Sock Comics and my new comic book day haul for January 9th, 2019. I had a kind of a frustrating day at the comic shops. I ended up going to three different comic shops to try to find one book. I'll talk a little bit about that, but was not as successful. Several things that I wanted to get a hold of, I was not able to find. A couple things that I saw were priced out of my reach, so that was really frustrating. But I'll go ahead and dig right into first the books that I read. Now, the favorite book that I read is this one right in front right now, Green Lantern #3. This is a fun book. The art inside is just amazing. It's Liam Sharp, and he's really got a style. Everything is very organic. He puts a lot of texture, and it's a very organic texture. It's not repeated patterns. It's every line is individually drawn. It's very, very cool. Very interesting to look at. All of the characters really stand out, and it's perfect for this kind of space oddities story. Now, the story was fun. It's the middle of a story that didn't come to a conclusion, and I'm not sure exactly how it's going to end. Of course, it's not predictable, but it kind of plays this God line, which is fun. I think they do a good job of kind of playing how something could imitate God, which is a fun play. But it's also, some people might not like that. Some people might find it a little sacrilegious. I was okay with it. I think that it demonstrates imitation, not blasphemy. There's also a little bit on kind of the climate change, not global warming, like global destruction caused by the people on the planet. Just a couple of references there. These are the kind of political points that always stand out to me. I also wasn't bothered at all by the way that they approached it, because I think it's perfectly fine to address the fact that we have the ability to destroy the earth. A very cool thing, whether or not you agree with climate change, still a cool concept, something that I think makes sense to be said there. Anyway, moving on. Next up is Batman #62. Now, I decided to go for the cover A with this one because up on the stands, this pink book was just standing out. It's creepy, it's gory, and I just really liked it. The other copy was this gritty, dark Batman, and that was also very cool, but this one was definitely the pick between the two of them. A lot of times I do go for the semi-virgin B covers for DC books, but I went with this Batman today. The story, it's the middle of a story. It's kind of horror orienting. It's purposely disoriented. There's a little bit of Tom King's attempts at kind of this broken up, almost poetic style that he tries every once in a while. That kind of not my favorite style, but he's pretty good at storytelling. If this wraps up fairly quickly and doesn't drag on for 4 issues without any progress, this is fun. This is interesting. Definitely worth the read. Okay, next up I have Web of Venom Unleashed. Now, first of all, I gotta say, I went to 2 different stores. The first one was sold out of this cover, and I didn't really ever take a quick look at this cover. I went to the second store, and they had this cover, and so I decided to grab it, but I really don't like it. I think that there's something off about the face, and maybe I'm just not understanding it. Maybe there's a more obvious angle that I just can't process, but I really don't like this cover. But anyway, I got it more for the story for this one. I did read it, and it's all right. There's nothing too interesting about it, but I read it. Kind of fits in with the whole Venom story, I guess. Brings in Carnage, which is fun, a little sicko attitude. So that was interesting. But anyway, those are the 3 that I read. Now I'm going to put up all 3 of the covers that I bought. Over here to this first one in the middle. This is the Jango Fett #1. I have no interest in the Star Wars stories, but I thought this was a really cool cover, and it's In-Hyuk Lee, who I've been collecting quite a few of his books. So I thought this one was a cool one to add to those books. I'm not quite a completionist on that like I am on Artgerm's covers, but I did think this was a cool cover, worth the cost of cover price. Okay, next up is Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Now this one is an Artgerm cover. I had to get it. I also think it's a fantastic Spider-Man picture. I mean, Artgerm is just doing amazing stuff. I think that he's progressed a lot from where he was. Oh, geez, I saw some of the Batgirl covers that he has coming up, and they are amazing. I am happy I learned about Artgerm early. I'm happy that I started collecting him because I think that his books are really something special. But I grabbed this one. It's not going to be it was the most purchased book on the shelf, a thick stack of them. It's not going to be anything scarce or interesting, but it's a great piece to have. I like it. Great Spider-Man pose. Definitely Artgerm style. Looks great. Now the final one that I got up here for the cover, this is Harley Quinn number 57, the Tedesco cover. I had such a hard time finding this book. I went to my first shop. I got there before it opened. I was the second person in the shop. They didn't even put this one out on the shelves. I guess they were all already claimed by I don't even know how to do it, by regulars, I guess. I don't collect Harley Quinn, so it's not on my pull list, so I'm not able to select this. So I didn't get it there. I went to a second shop, and they had a thick stack of them, but they wanted $15 a piece. I was like, I can't support that. I mean, honestly, if a shop is trying to sell them for $15 on opening day, and it's a cover price book, there's not any incentive on it, I have really mixed feelings about that. So I went off and I thought about it for a little while, and I tried to see, I looked at eBay to see if I could get one, sneak one by, but all the cheap copies are gone. So I decided to go ahead and pick up one from another store that had them for $10. And, it's over cover price, but I really felt like this one fits with a style that I've got, and it's a character that I don't have. So this will go with one of my Middleton. This goes in kind of a series with one of my Middleton Batgirl covers, and I've got a really cool Ms. Marvel cover, and they're all this white background, super stylistic, super attitude-driven female superheroines. So it works perfectly with other books that I have, so it's going to go in that series, however I decide to display that when that comes or goes or whatever I decide to do. So happy to have it. And, I don't necessarily think that this is going to be a good investment or anything, but it's a good cover. Very happy to have it. I'm not planning on selling it. It's going to go in my personal collection. So those are the new comic books for this week, but I actually have quite a few other books to throw up here. So first up, I have The Amazing Spider-Man number 12, the Adi Granov villains variant for Spider-Man 12, and the Galactus cover. This was amazing. I wanted to see it in the store, and I did not get a hold of it. Ooh, that color's funny. But I wasn't able to get a hold of it in the store. I don't remember what happened that week. I don't know if it was sold out or if I was just not able to find it. But I did end up finding it as a buy it now for like $2.15 with $3.40 for shipping. So I got it for really close to cover price. Did not feel bad about the price I ended up spending on it. About what I would have spent if I'd purchased it right then. Okay, next up, I can't remember if I've already showed this one or not, but I'll show it anyway. I've got two kind of Copper Age books. First up is X-Men number 164. This is the first appearance of Binary, of Carol Danvers' Binary. Now, I've been kind of sequencing through the key books in Ms. Marvel's storyline, and this is definitely one of the keys. So I was able to get a hold of this. I can't remember what I spent on it. That's something that I need to gather up, but got a pretty good deal on it, less than what it says its price is supposed to be on cover price. It does look like it's in pretty good condition, so happy to have that one. Here's one more. I consider this one an important Ms. Marvel book. I just think this is an awesome cover. Ms. Marvel number 17. I was also able to get this one for pretty cheap, and the book is in really good condition. Very happy with it. That's it, and it came in a Mylar sleeve, so it just looks amazing. All right, then I have another bit of collection here. I went to an antique shop, and this is something I've never done before, but they had a lot of kind of interesting books, a lot from late 70s, early 80s, and then some moderns. And I was just looking through, and they had some older books as well. I'll show you that. But I'm just going to show these pretty quickly. Nothing too spectacular, but this is just stuff that caught my eye. So first up, This is a New Avengers #1, and this is kind of a far out spec. A lot of people are talking about Ronan may show up in the New Avengers. Well, this is, I think, the first cover appearance of Ronan. This was New Avengers #1. It depends on the time that it actually printed, because this is the second print. But it may be the first cover appearance of Ronan. If not, again, it's a cool piece of art. I think it's Quesada. So I don't know, just classic art. I like the style. It's all right. Okay, next up, I have Nova Annihilation. Not an interesting book at all, but it's a cool cover. It's a Dell'Otto. Very distinct, very dark, very gritty, the way that Dell'Otto does his stuff. So I definitely like that. Then I got I got one really weird book. This one just caught my eye. Haven't read it yet, but it was just funny, interesting, and cheap. So I decided to grab it. Not a big deal. All right, then I took my daughters with me, and they're hilarious little girls. And they picked out all of these Spider-Man books and all kinds of fun stuff. But then they got their eye on some romances, and they did not know that there were romance comic books. So they each picked out a romance comic book. So I got these two Silver Age romance, hilarious little books. I don't know. The girls want me to read them to them. I will. They're awesome. I like that they want to read comic books. And then I found one more book. This was one of the Adam Hughes Wonder Woman covers. And I'm not collecting Hughes or anything, but they're kind of fun every once in a while. If I see a Hughes and I can get it for pretty cheap, I'll probably pick it up because they're fun. He's got his collectors out there. There's a lot of them. These are kind of interesting covers as well. This whole Wonder Woman run that he did has a lot of kind of promising books in it. I didn't know which one I'd gotten. I just knew that it was one of Adam Hughes from this Wonder Woman run. It's not really an investment book, but it's one of those that it's like, well, I'll buy it. Maybe I get lucky and it's something interesting. Maybe it's just something that I stick in with the rest of my Adam Hughes, and we'll just sit on it and enjoy my Adam Hughes covers. So that's my collection. Quite a few books this week. Had a fun time. I spent a little more than I intended with everything going on. Obviously, the two eBay books, the Ms. Marvel and the Uncanny X-Men, those were a little bit more expensive. Everything else, all of these books that I got from the antique store were $3 or less. Just nice little collection there. But that's what I got this week. Okay, I just want to remind you, I didn't bring the book out, but I still do have my contest going. No comments yet, no valid entries, but if you do want to enter, I am going to be giving away an Adam Hughes Power Girl #1. Pretty cool variant. Happy to give it away. I just want a few people to comment, and definitely interested in what you think, what you got this week. Is there something that I should be grabbing that I missed out on? Let me know. Give me a comment, and like and subscribe. Thanks.